Welcome to 5 Star Weekly, a double swoop of players from Europe. Ooh, baby. We getting all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and this is Nyle. Oh, welcome to the show, Nyle, for Rookie. Yes, he is our social media contributor, and you might have seen him on the live streams as well, but welcome to the episode, my boy.
Thanks. I'm very excited to be here with you guys today to talk about some rumors.
Yeah, indeed. And it's more than just rumors because we'll have some mailbag as well. But before we get into all of that, let's give some major shouts out to our Patreon fam. We love you guys. And specifically, Gavin, Jordan, Nyle, Andrew, Chris, Nick, and Jeff. You guys are freaking legends. But, so let's get into the news because there's a good bit of, well, maybe it's just updates on updates on updates, but we'll cover all of it. And yeah, the first thing that's not a rumor is Justin Meram. He has officially retired via a Twitter post. He mentioned that he, so a little late to this, but I held on as long as I could. Thank you for everything. You will be missed. And honestly, yeah, I mean, he is missed at Atlanta United. He, won us a couple trophies while he was here. And yeah, he's a guy that is forever etched into our history. And a guy that I think a lot of fans really think fondly of. But yeah, definitely, best of luck in the retirement. But yeah, do you have a favorite Justin Meram memory?
Ooh, there's so many. I remember, I think his goal against the Red Bulls where he kind of cut inside and then made a run against Duncan and then scored. That was a pretty good goal. And I think just walking out on the Orlando stadium and just kind of Orlando fans were kind of just giving it to him, and he was just like, I don't care. And I think he made a post on Instagram about it later on, saying like, silence is like, kill them with silence or something along those lines. So I would say those are my two probably favorite moments with Meram. He was definitely a cultural legend for us at Atlanta United, was a part of the glory years, and yeah, just best of luck with his retirement.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, definitely a cult hero for sure. I think my favorite memory has got to be so we did some, I think, top 5 goals videos in 2019, and he responded, I think, on Instagram with a right, because we didn't include him. And yeah, I was like, oh shit, yeah, your goal was really good, man. That's our bad. Yep, you're right, but so yes, Justin Meram, full of banter and definitely a hater of Orlando City, so he's always got a soft spot in our books for sure. But yeah, so next bit of news, it begins, the saga. When it comes to Miguel Almiron, it's a saga. If you thought it was going to be easy, foolish you. Because, yeah, it's never just a, like, oh, one and done, okay, rumor, and he's here. No. Yeah, it's, Newcastle fans will know this for sure. I think we kind of knew this a little bit, when he was brought over here as well. It wasn't that long, but it was, yeah, still a good bit of time. And, a player that's obviously, I would say, hasn't really even divided opinion. Most of the people are very excited just on the precipice of this news. But, of course, Tom Bogert, he said that we were in talks with Newcastle. Sky Sports mentioned that there were advanced talks. Cesar Luis Merlo said the negotiation are advanced, but then also Miggy has given a green light to return. And as well, Cesar Luis Merlo said Well, yeah, okay, hold on. So much to go through. I have this disorganized, so might be, but basically as well, that Cesar Luis Merlo, he mentioned there was a verbal agreement with Newcastle to buy Miggy for 12 million US dollars. Seems like it's a as well maybe euros wise about 10 million. So the discrepancy is the transfer rate of the dollar to the euro. But that the club is negotiating the final details of the player's contract, who's ready to travel and sign. He, of course, has still been kind of playing for Newcastle, kind of coming off from the bench and whatnot. But also, yeah, I believe it was today, Julio Samaniego, he mentioned that Miggy's return to Atlanta United is almost complete. Contract length would be about 3 years plus one option activated by achieving objectives. No, actually, that was yesterday. Jordan Cronin mentioned today that Miggy's still expected to sign to Atlanta United, but a move is not yet finalized. And sources in the U.S. say a deal has moved slowly, but Atlanta are hopeful of progress made by the end of the week. And yeah, I mean, it's just it is as we have said, a saga. I guess my first question for you is, Miggy obviously excites a lot of fans, but for you, are you excited by it? Do you feel like he can actually help the team at, his tender age of 30?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's hard not to be excited, right? You're talking about one of the best players in MLS, one of the most beloved players in Atlanta United history, coming back. I think this was something that was a dream for fans for quite a while now, ever since there was talks of Charlotte maybe signing him, and then they ended up not doing so, and people were saying, oh hey, maybe should we stop Charlotte from doing this? So I would say, yeah, definitely excitement. And I think, he can still bring speed to this team at his age. I think, for me, he's definitely not the same player that he was when he arrived in Atlanta. I think fans kind of have to expect that, he's a different age. He's going to be a bit different in the abilities and the way he can play. But I think he still has some of the qualities that were so important to Atlanta United in the past, such as his speed. And that's something that Garth Lagerwey and company have been very adamant about adding, is speed to the team. And I think Miggy can still add that, even if it's not at his 100% speed in the past.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, he adds more than just speed as well. He's got, I think, good technical ability that's obviously got him to the Premier League, but it also is his work rate, his pressing ability. He obviously got on a little bit of a good scoring streak with Newcastle at one point, but now has fallen out of favor, and thus that's why he is possibly coming here. I believe it was Sam Jones that kind of wrote an article, not kind of, but he did write an article that published recently, kind of posing the question, would we move for a player like Miggy if it wasn't Miggy? It's a very interesting argument. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, Nyle, and I'll kind of give my thoughts after that.
If it was not Miggy, I personally don't think so. I think the thing with Miguel is that it's not just a PR move. I've seen a lot of people say that, is this just a PR move from the club? No, I don't think it's solely that. It's definitely part of it, right? I think this, bringing him in is definitely a great way to sort of spark some excitement into the fan base. But I think, this is also a player in Miggy who, despite his age, I think he still has quality that he can bring. As you mentioned, his technical ability, his speed, his ability to take on defenders 1v1. He's still, I think for me, he is a prime example of what a player can do in MLS. And I think also another plus is that he's already shown you before that he can have success in MLS. So why not bring him in again? So I think for me, if it was not a player like Miggy, then yes, we wouldn't have brought him in. But I think with this opportunity, you kind of have to jump at it.
Interesting. Yeah. So you're saying, yeah, we wouldn't have brought a player like him. I think it's an interesting argument to say that, well, these are the types of players that we should be going for, are the players that are on the benches of Premier League teams. They are definitely going to be levels above a lot of the players in MLS. And, especially in this aspect, it's a player that, because it is Miggy, the aspects of shirt sales, the aspects of rejuvenating rather a fan base that has been pretty jaded, I would say, for sure, at the very least. And you have aspects of it where he brings that verticality that we need. He brings the the type of player that we're trying to bring in on the wing, and especially when he was here, he was clinical. And if you can get a striker that can get on the end of his his passes, I think that's really where it's going to be very, very interesting. And as well, you have somebody that can spell Moranchuk in the middle as well. They can switch places, positions, and especially if you need more directness through the middle, well then you have that guy who can do that, and he can tear apart defenses that way. I think, I disagree actually with kind of what you're saying, is that, yeah, this is the type of player that we should be bringing. Are there more talented players? Yes. Yeah. Are there players that have proven a lot more in the Premier League? Yes. Charlotte getting Wilfried Zaha, yeah, it's a player that has more of a pedigree in the Premier League, in the best league in the world. Like, just hands down, it is. And it's interesting. It's like, okay, well, if you can get guys that are coming off the bench, in top clubs around the league, in the Premier League, you could really do far worse, because it's not like he's a guy that is retiring, very soon. It's not like he's done. Like, he's just, yeah, he probably, why he's saying yes here to pontificate, I think, is that because he was an absolute star here, kind of in the, if not for Joseph, he would have been MVP probably. And, it's one of these things where, yeah, why wouldn't you want to go back where you're revered, you're starring, you're, playing every week. And yeah, it's the very fact that there's no doubt he felt the love from Atlanta United fans when, yeah, he left, and we were still posting about him. We were still cheering him on. Like, it just shows you, like, how important that is when players actually, yeah, it's like when they move, like, they feel that energy. They feel that fan energy, and it is palpable. And I think it's a big factor into maybe why he is returning, and maybe why, yeah, like, he's kind of spurned Charlotte. He was like, yeah, this is a rival to LA United. He would be persona non grata, and that's not a good thing for drawing the ire of, let's just be honest, the biggest fan base in MLS. So, but yeah, any thoughts on kind of what I've said, and if you want to refute?
Yeah, I think what you said was spot on. I feel like for me, like, I think one particular interesting moment that I think I theorized could have been a point for him to come back was, he came back to Atlanta with Newcastle, and the love that he received at that game, the support that he got when he scored that goal against Chelsea, like, for me, like, it's, I think, a clear indication of, hey, like, this is a place that I can come back to, because I know I'm always going to be loved, like, there wherever I go in my career. So I think you're spot on with that, and I think that just hopefully with players like Miggy that can come back, it brings hopefully some future hope for maybe bringing some other players that have played for Atlanta United in the past that can come back as well, who feel valued.
Yeah, indeed. Because, yeah, Julian Gressel always feels the love when he's here. yeah, I mean, we'll have to figure out who's actually still playing at some point. But yeah, I don't know about Miles Robinson. I think he'll kind of get a mixed reaction a little bit. And obviously, the big elephant in the room is Joseph Martinez. But that also could happen. But it's a probably way later down the line type of thing now. But I think no doubt he every single time still, when he pops up in the bins, it is electric usually for Joseph Martinez. But next rumor is Cesar Luis Merlo. He said that several Brazilian clubs have their eyes on defender Luis Abram. And if a concrete offer arrives from that market, the player is willing to consider it. Obviously, Abram is on a pretty high wage, I believe $900,000 a year, and at least for MLS anyway. But because when you think about it from the Premier League, like some of these players are on like 100 to 300,000 a week, which is insane. But anyway, I digress. But Abram to a Brazilian club, obviously he divides some opinion. He's not always starting, and when he started, it's sometimes good, sometimes not great. But but what are your thoughts on Abram possibly leaving?
I mean, I think it would make sense if the right offer came in and if there was indeed actually interest. He was inconsistent and he has been, but I think some of the last performances that he had during like the final moments of the season were pretty much, in my opinion, probably one of his more better performances. Like for example, I think that he had a pretty decent series against Miami in the playoffs, but for sure has to have more of that consistency. For me, you definitely want to have him, out of the door, if you can, especially if there's offers. But for me as well, like you have to have that offer come in order for him to leave, and you also have to have the replacement in as well, because Abram is a body, and you have to replace like him with another player sort of for that role.
Yeah. Indeed. I mean, it's also this. It's he does have the experience on an international level. That is I guess, double-edged sword, because yes, he does leave often for international windows, which leaves us very short in the back. But yeah, we do have some other players that are on their way up. Academy players, homegrowns, Efrain Morales, Noah Cobb, that can spell that as well. So I mean, obviously, I think we probably need one more veteran in the back, so we don't rely completely possibly on just two veterans, where Stan Gregerson has shown to be a little injury prone. So hopefully, it's if it is Abram that leaves, maybe we can find somebody that's a little cheaper as one of the understudies that can spell at both positions, because obviously him being a left-footed player, that's the the conundrum is sometimes most teams don't really play with two left-footed center backs, but two right-footed center backs a little bit more common. But so Abram wouldn't be missed heavily, but yes, we would need to replace his roster spot for sure. So, but so next bit of news is that's Emmanuel Latte Lath. Well, there is a potential MLS record fee in the range of $20 million, according to Tom Bogert, and it's not done yet. Atlanta working to finalize personal terms. Details are to sort. Obviously this is another saga, and it also is Middlesbrough. They are waiting until they maybe find a replacement, but also, who knows? Who knows if that's just conjecture, and if they're just, waiting it out on us, and it's one of those, like, Leeds United was interested. I don't believe they are anymore, but maybe they're waiting for a Premier League club to come in. I mean, I don't know. It's I highly doubt a Premier League club is probably going to pay more than what we're going to pay. But stranger things have happened. But Emmanuel Latte Lath also has been followed by Atlanta United sporting director Chris Henderson, and very keen, or maybe what's the word here, very astute sleuthing by some Atlanta United fans. But it's one of these things. Is that causality? Does that mean that he's coming? What do you think now?
No, I don't think that means he's like directly, like he's automatically going to come here. Like you said, there are still some hurdles. Middlesbrough obviously want to use him as much as they can because they're in the middle of a promotion push as well. And I think also like something that I think needs to be mentioned as well is like his agent, Emmanuel Latte's agent, is kind of have a reputation of being a tricky agent and being an agent that can be a bit annoying as well. Borough fans I've seen have even like made comments about that. So there's definitely, I think, maybe the agent is waiting to see if there's bids from Premier League clubs or other European clubs. But I think you're right. I don't think many other clubs will offer what Atlanta has offered, but it's definitely a waiting game, and I see this possibly taking a couple more weeks to get formalized.
Yeah, which before the window closes, I don't know if there's a couple more weeks, but definitely, it needs to happen pretty soon. We're not really probably that stressed in a sense because preseason is about to start. There is, it's not really news per se, but yes, there is a preseason match on Saturday. We would preview it, but there's not really much to probably preview. It's pretty much that, there's going to be some players that are going to be getting some fitness levels in, but it's probably just going to be a changed 11 probably every 30 minutes. So, either way, I think it's going to be, it's just going to be good to have five-stripe football. I think that's the, at the end of the day, the thing. So, a return to that is incredible. But yeah, so that pretty much does it for the news. And it gets us into the mailbag. You guys send in these questions through IG Story and Discord. Please continue to do so. We might answer your question in the future. But first question. Ooh, yeah, you guys send in a lot of questions. I'm kind of hard to sift through a little bit, but a lot of you are asking about Miguel Almiron, obviously, and Emmanuel Latte Lath. Basically asking how done are the deals, any update on Latte Lath, is Almiron coming back? So obviously that is all in there. But let's see. Let's get to an easy one, I suppose. Which is not that easy, maybe. But Debbie Miller asks, "Is Lennon back and doing great?" I don't know about doing. He's probably doing great. He's been vacationing, but like in your kind of what you've seen, is Lennon back?
I don't think he's back yet. I feel like he's probably on the way to being back, but I don't think he's back yet. And even if he was close, I think the club would be precautious because they don't want to risk injuring him again. So they're definitely, I think, going to take time over this.
Yeah, and it's a shoulder injury. It's I think in a way better than a leg injury for sure. But obviously, range of movement is important, and him being a defender, he's going to need to use his arms a good bit, to really fend off attackers, and also be able to just when he's in the box, that it's going to be a scuffle, and if you don't have full range of movement, you're going to be kind of screwed. But next question comes from, let's see, what do we got? Zilf asks, on paper, where does this starting 11 with Latte Lath and Almiron rank in best Atlanta United 11s?
God. Wow. I would say 2018 is top for me, the best lineup in Atlanta United history. I would say 2017 second, 2019 lineup third, and I would put this one at fourth.
Yeah, it's got the potential for that. Obviously, this is way too early days to really guess that. But yeah, no, I completely get your argument there. Yeah, I'd probably swap 2019 with 2017 just because of the trophies and the depth that we had, probably. Where we were able to withstand all the competitions. But yeah, 2017 definitely brings the nostalgia. There's a lot of goals from a lot of different players: Yamil Assad, Tito Fichalba, and obviously Jose Martinez. I think had like 19 goals as well, along with Miguel Almiron and Julian Gressel. I think it was pretty dang good in terms of a lot of aspects. So, this one. Yeah, I think there's a lot of players that have some stuff to prove here. So, but on paper, breaking the MLS transfer fee, coming in is a pretty big deal if that is going to happen. And of course, Miguel Almiron, Premier League player, Miguel Almiron coming over here is also, a big deal as well. So. But yeah, good question there. Next question comes from Josh Kite. Variation on the theme on paper. How does the rank versus how did previous on paper at the start of the year's rosters look? It's one thing to look backwards at our performances and another to consider our expectations at the start of the season based on our roster. It's a nuanced question there. Do you need me to kind of break that down for you a little bit, or do you?
There's a lot of.
Yeah.
That was
yeah, it is. So basically, he's asking, I believe anyway. So on paper versus what the actual team looked like during the season. So how does this team rank versus how a team, on paper at the start of the year look? So if you look backwards at performances and into expectations on the start. So say, we had no expectations in 2017. So the expectations were like, okay, well, yeah, we might be good. Who knows? We have Tata Martino. We have, a very exciting player in Miguel Almiron. We have a complete unknown in Jose Martinez. We have Tito Fichalba, who, looks exciting on paper as well. And, swashbuckling, all that. But we have no idea truly about how good our team actually can be until we actually played the games. And the first game was just holy shit. This is exciting football, and captured the imagination of an entire city and beyond. But is it like this where 2018 raised expectations? We get Darlington Nagbe, we get some other pieces that kind of solidify, with Eric Remedi in the middle as well. We're like, okay, yeah, there's belief. I think we can do things. This on paper, we haven't brought these players in yet, but this on paper, do you feel like has more of a promise than maybe the 2018 and 2019 seasons, or is it a level below maybe?
I don't know if it has more promise than the 2018 or 2019 teams. If you think about it, those teams had a lot of depth. All of the players on that team were consistent. Like you said earlier, there's some players that have things to prove this season, like Sean De Silva, for example, is one of them. Yamba is another one as well. But with the arrivals, I would say you do more this season than you did last season, because last season you finished 9th. I think this season, my expectations with this lineup is that they make it to the top 4 in the East. Whether or not that's actually going to happen, we'll have to wait and see, because expectations can not really match on-field performances. But that, for me, is what I think this team can do. I don't believe that this team should be finishing in ninth again. At least I hope not.
Yeah, I think if we did, things would catastrophically go wrong. And man, I think there would be a lot of upset people if we brought in Latte Lath and Miguel Almiron and we finished ninth. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's probably, as far as expectations, this is probably the third highest expectations, I think, for a roster if it were to happen. So, but yeah, very thought-provoking question there. Let's see. Callum Ewing asks, what will be the team's greatest weakness if Latte Lath and Almiron deals go through?
If they don't go through, oh boy.
Or if they do go through. Like, what's basically what's left in our roster to solidify and fortify?
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I would say what's left to solidify in our roster, even if those, besides those two players potentially coming through, I would say is the midfield. You know, like Muyamba and Salish. I think Salish I have trust in stepping up this season. Muyamba I'm not entirely sure about, so I feel like for me, you have to improve that midfield and add a player that can contribute offensively and defensively at a greater level than Muyamba did, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has been a little bit inconsistent for sure. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think for me, it's at fullback. I think our depth is pretty light there. Center back, probably replacing Abram with maybe somebody that can contribute maybe in some different aspects. Yes, would be definitely very interesting. I think also, I mean, it's like, if we're going to bring in some wingers, it definitely brings some of the, like, the Shante Silvas. It adds depth. It strengthens our bench. But I think, we still need probably somebody, I think on the wings as well. Another player, not Mascara. Like, he is rumored to leave. As kind of more of a different type of a look, because yes, you'll have Miguel Almiron, you have Saba, but just maybe more of a creator type off of the bench would be, I think, an interesting bit more where they can create from out wide, and you're not relying on just spamming crosses in essentially, and you can actually have some differences in play. I think that would be, an interesting look. So, but I think it's mostly depth related and not obviously starter related here. But I think it's also this. It's not going to happen. But if you can upgrade on Brooks Lennon, I think you should, because defensively, I think we know what Lennon is, and we do need somebody that can actually defend the wings. But it is what it is. Next question comes from Michael Weiss. What will AJ do if we win MLS Cup this year? He says, make it good. So, I'll pose the question for you first, and then I'll answer it. But what would you do if we won MLS Cup? Something good.
I would get a tattoo of Garth saying "We're back, baby" on my back.
On your back?
Yeah.
Do you have a tattoo right now?
No, I don't.
Oh wow. So are you gonna do it like what's his name from Jackass, and just like your whole entire back?
No. Just a tramp stamp.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not like that.
yeah. So on the top of your back. Yeah. Okay. That'd be interesting. Okay. Yeah. I like it. That's very much a commitment, because that's another grown man's face on your back. So, I mean, I applaud it. I applaud it for being bold. For me, let's see. Winning MLS Cup, I will. Let's see. I will shave my head into a mohawk.
Oh
And
my god.
yeah, those who know me from my youth know that I have actually had several mohawks, but more than
Oh,
one, more than three too, actually. But it's I will do it. I will do it if we do it. So but okay. Next question comes from Josh Kite. Just how pissed is Edwin Mosquera? I'll leave it to you to maybe give some of that context here, because yeah, it is definitely interesting what's happening.
I mean,
If you know it.
oh, yeah. So there were some reports that there was some interest in Edwin Mosquera from I think some Colombian teams. And obviously Mosquera is not a popular player, especially if you can still remember the back pass that he made against the Philadelphia Union, which kind of was one of the factors of the whole spiraling down. And then I think a couple days ago on his story, he posts like something about like not feeling valued, or suggesting that like maybe he's not feeling valued, or like if you are not valued, you should go somewhere else. Something with a car, I think, on his story.
Yeah. With like a Lamborghini, I think. Yeah, all the snow on it as well. It was interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know. Like I feel like like you can kind of have like you can kind of take a lot away from it. Like, but at the same time, it's social media. Like you're gonna like say things that are out of context at times. For me, like I think he definitely a little bit maybe does feel underappreciated, like because he knows he's not going to be a starter for this team, and he probably also would not mind a move back to Colombia, but obviously I think the team has sort of rejected that interest, like rejected any possible bids for Mosquera, because the intention I think is to still keep him for now.
Yeah. And yeah, very well could be that, I think, where it also is, Mosquera, a young guy, obviously, and any player wants to start, so I totally get that. There is an aspect of some immaturity here, probably, some, you just gotta, survival of the fittest. If you're not performing, if you're not improving, well then, unfortunately, yeah, you're holding the team back a little bit. And I mean, it's just, the attitude needs to be better. I think somebody needs to get in his ear, whether it's somebody on the coaching staff or a fellow player. But it just, I totally get his thinking, though. It's like, if you're undervalued and whatnot, but it's not like it's this. It's not like he's absolutely killing it, and we're just like, okay, you're on the bench. Like it's because, yes, there's been a lot of inconsistency, even though he, can be useful at times. But, I've said this before. Like, if Edwin Mosquera, if you're relying on him too much, you're not a winning side, unfortunately. It's just, that's not good roster construction at the end of the day. But, let's see. The next question. Well, there's a lot of like really big questions, which maybe we'll get into in the future. But one of those like top 3 Atlantic goals of all time, which is a really tough question to answer there. So we'll save that. We'll save that for something else. But I like it. I like where you guys are thinking with this. Let's see, and top 3 kits as well from Santander. Sammy. I think we can go with that one. Top 3 Atlanta United kits of all time.
Top 3, okay. 2017, 2018 kit, definitely top. I mean, that's the OG right there. Mm-hmm. Second one, oof. I would say the Peach kit, probably. Third one, I'm probably gonna go with the kit I'm wearing right now. I know it like is pretty much the exact same, the exact same like kit as the 2017 kit, but I think part of the reason why I like it is because you still have some resemblance of that 2017 kit, even though it's not all the stripes are there, and even though there's kind of a different sort of layout of the kit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good shout. I mean, yeah, the I believe it's 17's kit. There we go, man. But the 17's kit definitely fits a lot better than than the original OG kit. I'll say that. Like the trim is a lot, just form fitting, and yeah, it just is slightly better in some respects. So yeah, I concur. That's my top. That's my third. I agree there. My second, actually probably. Oh man, this is a tough one. It ain't easy. Oh man, I'm like rifling through right now. I think it might be the parlay kit, the gray one that we had. That one was so clean. It was, yeah. And so yeah, that one, and then yeah, I mean, the OG kit is just legit. It's just, but you know, there are some flourishes on some other kits more recently that definitely make it more interesting in some aspects. But I think yeah, just ultimately because it's the inaugural kit, it's got the nostalgia. It doesn't have the star, but it is very, very much I think the pillar. It's the the foundation of our kits. So hard not to love for sure. But let's see. Last question here. Last question. We got a good number of stuff, but I think we'll go with the softball question, which is hilarious. ATL UTD VIPs asks, did you make a snowman? Did you, Nyle?
No, I did not. I did try to like roll an absolutely colossal snowball down like I tried to like do it like from one building to another and just trying to roll it. It was hard because it would end up kind of breaking, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I had a couple other friends help me as well do it. It was like people were looking at us weirdly. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was pretty powdery, so it was probably a little bit difficult in that aspect. But yeah, how big did you ultimately get it? Like diameter?
It was
I guess.
like I can try. It was probably like pretty. It was pretty big. It like
not Nyle. This is a podcast. You're gonna have to describe it, man.
It was like, it was like it was pretty. Oh man, how do I describe it?
I mean, size of your head, 2 times the size of your head.
No, it's not the size of my head. It was like. It was probably like 2 times the size of my head. It was pretty big.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, if it was 2 times the size of my head, then it would be massive. But yeah, that's just me. Yeah, those who have met me in real life are like, holy shit, man! Wow, your head is huge. But yeah, so it is that. But yeah, hopefully, yeah. Not hopefully. Anyway, but for a snowman. I did not, unfortunately, but yeah, I did walk around a good bit, try to get into some snow fights, but it was very cold, and yeah, pretty much, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't out there long. I was like, yeah, I wore a couple layers, but I felt like, okay, yeah, I needed to really bundle it up, but but anyway, so that is the mailbag and pretty much the entire episode except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, which player, Miggy or Latte Lath, are you more excited about possibly signing? Let us know in the comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. And now I'm going to put you on the spot. Which one are you more excited about signing?
I'm honestly more excited about signing Latte Lath, if I'm gonna be completely honest, because I already know what I am going to expect from Miggy, and I already sort of know him as a player. Like Latte Lath, I do not have that much like sort of knowledge of who he is as a player, but based on what I've seen from a small sample size, I'm pretty excited, and I feel like he is a pretty good finisher in the box. So I would say him for sure in terms of just like adding something new to the team.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. But yeah, Nyle, you have completed your first 5-Stripe Weekly episode. Everybody, give him a clap. Throw him some, emojis in the comments below. But yes, he has done superbly, and yes, definitely welcome back anytime on the show. But guys, that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've been AJ. That's been Nyle. We will see you in the next video.